Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Between Ends on BVTV. I'm Jimmy Whitehead. I'm joined by Josh Thornton. How you going, mate?
Good, Jimmy. Yeah, great to be back for episode 3. The show's going great. First round of stream matches was absolutely fantastic, which we'll touch on very shortly, I'm assuming. But yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. We've got a bit of a packed show today. We'll go through the action of last week. We'll have a look at the all-important tipping ladder, and we'll bring on our guest from Gippsland, which is the one and only Jan Morton. Let's get cracking into it, Josh. But before we do, just want to give our Metro Pennant partner, BCIB, a bit of a plug. They've done some amazing things with us. It's all because of them we can get this show up and running. Same for the streaming. So, yeah, for all your insurance needs, make sure you're contacting BCIB. Josh, we'll talk about the action from last weekend. Round 1. Lucky to get it going ahead. There was a lot of rain about Friday, a lot of rain about Saturday. I know some regions lost Pennant for the weekend, including Gippsland, who we'll talk about later. But we managed to get the 5 games in for Premier League, and here's how the ladder looks after round 1. Any standout performances for you, mate?
Oh, look, I thought there was a very good win by Avalon Footscray against Lilydale, going over to Lilydale to play. I thought that was a good win. There was 3 dominant wins, obviously by Deer Park, Melbourne and Mentone. What more could we ask for our first live stream match to go down to the last end? I believe the last end was killed once and then replayed again, and coming in the last end to determine a winner was a fitting way to start our live streaming series for the year, and a great win there by MCC over Altona, which ultimately hurt me with the footy tipper, Jimmy.
It did half. It was a strange old game, JT. I've commented to a few people this week. Altona were out in front. They were comfortably out in front. And normally when there's a lead and a lead changes hands and it swings so wildly back the other way, there's a pivotal moment. But I didn't feel that pivotal moment at any point. It was kind of a staged progression of getting back into the game by MCC. They went about it quietly. Nothing over the top, no over emotion in it. They just kept plugging, kept fighting right to the end, and then found themselves dead level on with the last end to play. They all stepped up early doors. The first version of the last end was sensational. Both leads from both sides played some terrific bowls, as did the seconds, and it comes down to the Jack getting killed and we go again sort of thing. And MCC just got the bowls there first, and Benny Lachlan and Ben Twist just couldn't get that shot bowl out in the end. So MCC picked up the win. But I don't think we could have sat here and scripted a better game to kick off our season with, mate. So it's fantastic. We just want to touch on the tipping ladder. We know we kicked off the competition last week. We had Kevy Anderson from Regional, from Bendigo Campaspe, bringing up his tips for the regional guest component. He struck a pretty low week, mate. He just picked up the 2. Yourself?
Proves the Scotsman's got no idea, Jimmy, so...
Yourself, you went okay, mate. You lost out on our stream game, the MCC Altona game. So disappointing for you there.
Look, I took a punt. I saw the 2 imports coming in for Altona. I thought they'd get the notch at home, but as I said, fitting match, fitting finish, and I'm sure as long as there's no corruptness going on, Jimmy, that I'll get you back at some stage over the next coming weeks.
Look, and you can quite clearly see from the ladder below, miles out in front, just a huge gap, like a crater of a gap. There's myself, obviously the local Premier League expert, the metropolitan representative on this show. It's just clear that this inside knowledge of mine is just better than yours, JT. So I've already cooked up a plan to just tip the same as you for the rest of the season, and I'll finish 1 in front, and it doesn't get any better than that. So we're looking forward to it. On to this week's games, mate. We'll kick off with our Friday night game, which is between Yarraville Footscray and Deer Park, being played at 6 p.m. at Yarraville Footscray. Make sure you get down there. Lovely bistro down at Yarraville Footscray for those who haven't been. Food's fantastic. I was there just before the most recent lockdowns for a nice lunch, and food's amazing. Nice little decking area as well for a couple of refreshments while you watch the game. How'd you see that one going, Josh?
Look, yeah, this has been an interesting match. There could be an element of some tense, some friction there. A couple ex-Deer Park boys playing at Yarraville Footscray now. So I do give the edge to Deer Park at this stage, and I think they'll win.
Yeah, I was impressed with their performance against Croydon last week. We spoke about them sorting to need to bed early, got a lot of imports. I was also impressed with Yarraville Footscray's win. By all accounts, it was a very tight game, and they just sort of stepped it up towards the back end. Got some very experienced players. there's a lot of chromies playing in that game. A lot of balls. You got 3 of each. But yeah, I think Deer Park will get up on that one. Be close, but I think they'll get the win. Clayton versus Altona next. Clayton missing Ali Forsyth last week due to some isolation or the need to isolate. Altona missing David Ferguson this week. How'd you see that one going?
Yeah, look, I think the fact Clayton's at home, I assume Ali's going to be back, and the fact that Altona's missing Fergie is going to probably, hurt them a little bit, and I'm going to tip Clayton over Altona.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that one just to sort of make sure I stay one in front of you as well. I think Clayton will get the win. I think they're pretty strong at home. David Ferguson, for me, was probably the standout performer for Altona last week. I sort of kept an eye on his rink as he was next to the streaming rink. I think he'll be a huge miss for them. I think with Ali back for Clayton, fingers crossed. I think they'll get the W there. Croydon versus Bundura. Bundura coming off a bit of a shellacking over Mentone. They've got their 2 flyings, Corey Wedlock and Gary Kelly, playing. Croydon. Plucky performance against Deer Park. Who do you think will get the W in that one, mate?
Look, I just see too much depth and strength in Bundura's side. I'm going to find it hard for Croydon to knock them off, and yeah, I'm tipping Bundura.
Look, I think I've mentioned before, I think Croydon will win games this year, and I think they'll win them at home. This will be one that if they want to get on the board early, they're going to be looking at trying to push as hard as they can in this. I just think the depth at Bundura is sensational. I was impressed by their win last week. I didn't think they'd win by so much. Having to flip from the grass green to the synthetic at the last moment as well to get that game played because of weather just shows how adaptable they are. And yeah, I think they'll go and get the win at Croydon. Mentone versus Melbourne. After that, mate, where's your tip going on that one?
Yeah, look, Mentone still don't have any of their marquee players playing this week by the looks of the sides. Melbourne, very convincing win first round. Again, I see their sides too strong, too much depth there, and I see them beat Mentone.
Look, Melbourne have struggled at Mentone in the last couple of years. I know we lost there last year. I'm not convinced Melbourne go there and walk all over Mentone. I think it will be a pretty tight game. I'm going to go with Melbourne. I think I'll probably tip them 18 out of 18 this season, just for some bias. But I think with a settled side, the boys have sort of played together, most of them last season. Real good hit outs in pre-season this before the start of this season. I think they'll get their win, but I don't think it's going to be by a massive margin. I think it will be single figures or low teens win, bit of a 14-4 split, something like that. And then our stream game at MCC, they're playing against the newcomers in Lilydale. We'll be streaming the Brad Marin versus Josh Sanders rink, which will be on the first rink there. How do you see this one going, Josh?
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Lilydale will want to look to bounce back, and MCC will obviously look to cement their first round win. Looking at the matchups, as we said, Josh Sanders versus Brad Marin on the live streaming rink. I think that's a very pivotal rink in terms of maybe the outcome. Josh Sanders has been one of the most experienced and talented players at Lilydale. He's going to have to play really, really well to try and give Lilydale a chance. I see the Daniel Woodrow and J. Bo Norris matchup as another really influential rink as well too. And again, if Daniel Woodrow, who can play like he can and give Lilydale a good start, those 2 rinks are going to be very big catalysts to the overall. But Scotty Mortimer against Jess Wallace and Brendan Galley against Rod Nicholson. I just think MCC's got too much depth at this stage. I'm going to give them the win, 16-2 by 17 shots.
Yeah, awesome. I think the matchups actually work quite well for MCC in this one. I think they're pitting up what you would perceive as their strongest rinks against probably Lilydale's strongest rinks. I know they go well at home. Their greens are sensational at MCC. Very good TIFF greens. They play it quite well. They played well last week without being amazing. So I think there's extra gears left in their performance. I think they'll be disappointed at the early performance of maybe the front end last week for MCC. So there's the room for improvement for them. If their front end fire across the board for an entire game, they're going to give anyone a real good crack this year. I think they'll get up over Lilydale. I thought Lilydale will beat Yarraville last week. They've lost out in a close one. I think they're going to win games this year. I think they're going to win a fair chunk of games, but I don't think it's going to be this one. I think MCC will be fairly comfortable in winners in this one. So 16-2 is probably not a bad shout from yourself. But so yeah, I'll go with MCC on the tippers with that one as well. Make sure you're from 4 p.m. It's another cocktail hour streaming, this MCC versus Lilydale. We noticed last week everyone sort of jumped in around the 5, 6 p.m. mark. So for those clubs that don't know how to operate their TVs and stream the games or cast the games from their phone to their main TV at the club, get in touch, give me a call. Give BV a call. We'll talk you through that. We'd love to get some more commentary around how it's been watched at your club. There's some pretty good stories I've heard of. I think Hawthorn Bowls Club, there's sort of 30 or 40 people watching there. We give them a shout out. There's a big cheer coming from the clubhouse. So jump on the stream. Let us know how your game went that weekend. And yeah, it'd be amazing. So into segment 2, we'll bring Jan Morton in. We'll be back after a short break, Josh. Welcome back to segment 2, and JT, we are joined by President of the Gippsland Bowls region and all-round superstar, Jan Morton. Jan, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you? And Joshy?
Yeah, we're going all right. We're going all right. I'm beating Josh in the tipping comp. I'm not sure if you were aware of that, but we're just trying to make as many people aware as possible. Yeah, I was aware of it.
I don't know how I was aware of it, but I was aware.
See, it's all round regional already, Josh. You're one behind. Talking of the tipping comp, Jan, we need you to save Kevy Anderson because he had a shocker last week. He tipped 2 out of 5. So we're going to get your We're going to get your tips for the Premier League games this week. Who have you got in the Yarraville Footscray versus Deer Park game?
Deer Park, mate. Can't go past them.
Fair enough. Clayton versus Altona.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Altona. Yeah, I reckon they'll come back. Yep, after last.
Yeah, good. Week. Yeah, that was a close one for me as well.
Yeah.
Croydon versus Bundura.
Oh, Bundura. Yep,
strong
definitely.
Team. Mentone versus Melbourne.
Hard one, but I'll go Melbourne.
Yeah, you're a good lady, Jan. MCC versus Lilydale.
Yeah, I'm going to go against you guys here because I'm going to say Lilydale. I reckon they'll be really desperate to get this win on the board early, and I reckon they'll come out all guns blazing.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, hopefully that can bring the regional guest back into the competition because, yeah, Kev's left you with an uphill battle after round 1, which is never ideal. Jan, we've got you on to talk all things Gippsland. How's it all going up there? You lost a round of Pennant last Saturday, didn't you, due to the rain?
Yeah, we've lost. We lost all Saturday. It was terrible up here. We had huge dump of rain. Roads were flooded, so all Pennant was gone. We've only managed to get one weekend Pennant game in out of 3, and we've managed to get 2 midweek out of 3. So, but yeah, it was a shame. But hopefully this week we'll get game around 4 underway.
Morty, you've had some significant changes in the off-season, obviously bit of governance review and boundary changes and all the rest of it across the state. Tell me some of the positives your Gippsland region has adopted as a part of the new region structure.
Yeah, when we started with the new board, we decided there had to be changes and they had to be quite significant changes, and we decided to do everything all at once rather than trying to bring in little bits and pieces. We formed a steering committees to get our governors done, and we formed a steering committee to get our rules done, all done by February, all passed by Bowls Victoria, and so then we're able to just focus on the season ahead. Probably our most talked about change was we went open in midweek Pennant, totally open, and it caused some concern at the start, but now it's been widely accepted, and we've actually had a 20% increase in numbers across the region playing midweek Pennant, and I think that is the big plus. In Division 1 region, we've gone region wide because we only had 8 teams, then 1 dropped out, so we're down to 7. You can't run a playing area competition like that, so we went region wide. So we our club actually went to Orbost last Tuesday. We took a bus and we had a great day. Trip home was good because we won. But but yeah, that's some of the stuff. All our state events are now on weekends, and that includes our over 60s because they were during the week, and like a lot of people are working for years beyond 60, so we've brought in more entries like that as well. So that's some of
That's
it.
good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff, Jan. It feels like you've sort of dragged Gippsland into sort of 2021. I know there's a couple of clubs you're really impressed with, Locksport and Rosedale. So
Yep.
Locksport have come back into the competition after a long exile. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe it's about 8 years or 9 years, and that's into the Saturday comp. And I was talking to them last week, and they're also coming back into the midweek comp next season. So that's huge. Rosedale, they went out in 2008 in midweek because they didn't have enough ladies, and that was back when you had to play a certain amount of ladies, or all ladies, I think then. And like we felt that the rules shouldn't stop a club from playing midweek Pennant, and they were a big part of the reason the rule was changed to open, and they're straight back into midweek and loving it.
Perfect. Morty, give us some predictions. Obviously, you got your midweek played at a regional level for that top grade. Who do you think's the teams that beat in that competition? And then with your 2 weekend comps, who do you think are the teams that beat in those respective competitions?
Yeah, well, in the Division 1 region, obviously Lakes has been the standout team for several years, but so far at this stage, we've got the two, Sale and Mafra, are leading the way. But I'm pretty sure Lakes are going to come back in, and they'll be right up there. I'm sort of thinking it'll be a Sale Lakes playoff in the end.
And the weekend?
The weekend. In the north section, West Sale again they've been the strongest team, but they're going to get a bit of a challenge from Mafra, who they played in the grand final last year. They look pretty solid. They had a great win over Sale in their first round. That was at home. I'll tip West Sale. I think they'll still come out on top in the north. In the east, that's got really interesting. Straight up, Lindenow have said, well, they're not messing around, and they took Bensdale 1 straight out in the first game. And I think they're going to be really something to be reckoned with, Lindenow. And I'm envisaging a Lakes Entrance Lindenow playoff up there, and then I wouldn't be surprised to see Lindenow West Sale have to play off for the region.
They're my tip, Jan. Lindenow are one of my favourite clubs that I've worked with in my time in bowls. I love the guys up there. I noticed they picked up a bit of a killer in Nigel Plunkett. I've seen him appearing in their team this year, which is fantastic. They're always well represented. It was one of the best days of a BPL event I've ever ran when we ran it with the guys at Lindenow, and they're always at state events, like the 2 state events that we've run in my time down in Warrnambool and up at Bendigo East. I think they were in the 4s both times, which is amazing for what is perceived as a small club. They've just got the right spirit, the right attitude, and they're doing some great things.
Yeah, no, they're really keen. They're running they're hosting our novice singles this coming Sunday. And that's probably another big plus I should mention. Like, novice singles in our region has been not well supported for years. And we've got 25 entries this year, 14 women and 11 men. Like, we've had to actually split into another venue because we couldn't fit them all at Lindenow. But that's another huge plus. It's just come out of the blue a little bit. But yeah, the Lindenow guys, the Cockies, well, you can't go past them. They're always there, and they're loud and proud.
Lastly, Morty, how's your own Pennant side going to go this year?
My Pennant, where I'm playing?
Yes.
I knew you'd ask that. I'm playing midweek at Sale, and I think we're going to be right up there in amongst it. And I'm playing Saturdays with an old mate down at Yarram, and I think we're going to cause a bit of grief here and there, and probably break a few hearts, I hope, along the way.
No doubt.
Good stuff. And last question, Jan. How many region titles are you going to take down yourself this year?
Well, I'll be happy if I get one, mate. Like, I'm playing in them all. It gets a bit difficult trying to do the admin and the running of it all, but we've got a pretty solid team, and Gail and I are hoping we can do well again. We've got a big Sunday coming up with over 60 singles finals for the men, and at Sale, the semi-finals and the final. And we've got the novice at two things, and then we've got the over 60 ladies up at Orbost the following week. So we've got a bit
good
on.
stuff. Well, good luck with all of that, Jan. We love seeing you at State Champs Week, so fingers crossed we get to see you there again. Thanks for your time. Look, we're absolutely wrapped with what Gippsland are doing and the work that yourself, and I know Bronwyn's worked close with you also, and people like Colin Smith and Brad Lancaster. So hats off to all of them and the support crew you've got up there. Keep up the good work, Jan, and we'll check in with you later in the season to see how your predictions have gone.
No worries. I hope I do better than Kevy with the Metro.
Take care. Thanks, Jan.
Thanks, guys.
Join us in segment 3. We'll be talking through some Bolswick programs with roll up and bowling with babies kicking off after the recent lockdowns. We'll see you then. Welcome back to segment 3. We're going to have a bit of an in-depth look at a couple of BV participation programs with you, Josh. But just before we do, I just want to talk about something Jan brought up in that last segment. How good is it to hear they've got massive numbers for the novice event? That's sort of the future of Gippsland bowls right there.
Absolutely, and obviously it's a great pathway event for our newer bowlers in the sport. Regardless of age, you can come along and start playing at 15, 25, 55 and go out and play for a state title against people that are your peers and inexperienced, So fantastic effort by Gippsland, and keep up the good work.
Did you win your novice event when you was back in the day as a novice, Josh?
There was no novice event when I was around. That's how old I am, Jimmy.
Yeah, fair enough. There you go. I played I'm a novice to lawn bowls. I've played Crane Green all my life. So about 3-4 years ago, I was in the novice event. I got rolled 21-20, and I reckon that was probably the best singles game I've played in my life. And bear in mind, I made it through to the club singles final at Melbourne. I don't say that lightly, but yeah, this guy, I don't even bowled 6 months, bowled the house down against me. So he bowls at Burden Park. I think his name is Bruce. So Bruce, if you're listening, shout out to you, mate. You put on a clinic that day. Josh, a couple of BV participation programs. We're kicking off with them again, aren't we, mate? The world's opening up again in Victoria. So roll up. We've got a number of clubs that are going through that sort of program now. Just give us a quick rundown of what roll up is, how clubs can get involved, and what it does for their club.
So Roll Up is our junior participation product that we offer to all clubs across the state, targeting any age basically. And for clubs to be involved, all they have to do is either contact our head office directly via phone, email, or check our BV website and go under the Play Bowl section, and under Junior Bowls you see Roll Up, and it's got all the information there about registering as a hub club. We want clubs to register as those hub clubs to get involved and obviously offer junior participation to junior people out there, So at the moment we're about to start programs at Hawthorn, Parkdale, West Rosebud, Druin, Albert Park, Essendon, Preston Reservoir, and Flemcam, who's one of our mainstays of the program. They've been around since day dot. They basically run it weekly, regardless outside of school holidays, So it's a great product. It gets young people involved in the sport. And obviously, talking about novice singles, some of these people that might start doing roll up, Jimmy, might within 12 months become a junior member, and then they'll be able to play the novice singles themselves.
Yeah, it's fantastic, mate. I mean, just by that list of clubs you mentioned there, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're regional, metro, wherever, you can get that program up. So it's fantastic. You mentioned Flemken. I did a school program there a couple of years ago, back in my RBM days, and the kids were saying to me, we always go to Flemken on a Wednesday night. We go there. Peter looks after us. It's great. So hats off to Flemken for that. And then probably our most famous participation program, Bowling with Babies. That's kicking off again all around the state. Give us a bit of info on that.
So Bowling with Babies is probably a different target, as you know, Jimmy. It's obviously trying to get new mums back into doing some form of sport and recreation. There's some stats and good data out there that show that a lot of mums who've had a baby recently don't necessarily jump back into their sport and recreation of choice, So here we've got this offering of Bowling with Babies. It's low impact, very social, and mums can come, and obviously dads can come along as well too, to go at their own pace and have a friendly game of bowls, and it's the social outcomes we see with this product that are really, really beneficial to people involved. And obviously the flow-on effect is that clubs may get some new members out of it down the long track. If they don't get new members, guess what? They might get some of those mums back with their work or with their group to have a Christmas party, and then those social offerings that they can take on is really beneficial to the club. So we have Mount Waverley, Warina Park in Wangaratta, Tarwin Lower, Port Melbourne, Heathcote, Preston Reservoir, Traralgon and Rutherglen, all doing bowling with babies in the coming weeks, and it's great to see these people back out there having a game of bowls.
Tarwin Lower, there's not a better place to be than there, right on the edge of Wilson's Prime, stunning part of the world. That's fantastic. They've got bowling with babies kicking off there. I know it's a small community down there, so bringing that community into your bowls club, getting that secondary income, people will come back, book Christmas parties, book christenings, birthday parties, whatever it might be. It's important, especially coming off the back of the last couple of years we've had in Victoria. I think all clubs should be having a look at that. Also changes your image. I know a lot of bowls clubs are seen from the outside, from non-bowlers, as members only sort of places. So you help break down them barriers to your local community. Helps you with grants, being able to access grants from sport and rec and different government agencies. The fact that you're servicing various different members of the community. So I think it's something all clubs should look at. It's pretty low effort on volunteers. It just sort of needs someone there to turn up, open up the gates. BV will offer as much help as we can. The RBMs will come along and give some help as well. So plenty of opportunity out there for clubs. So make sure you're getting in touch with us or your local RBM to sort of find out how this program can work for your club. It's been a great show, mate. We've got through plenty. It's great to catch up with Jan from Gippsland. Really good to highlight the tip and ladder and see how far you are behind me. I'm looking forward to the weekend. We've got some. I'll be on the commentary duty for the MCC versus Lilydale game. So feel free to jump in on that on our Bolswick Facebook page. It'll also be on our website. Yeah, that's all from me, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks for having me again, and it's another great show.